Hello, this is Grant, and welcome back to another episode of Dead Rising 2 Master Run. It's going to be a nice, short little episode because in the next episode, we're going to be doing the anti-up scoop, and that's going to be pretty long, so I figured I would cut this, make it nice, short, and succinct because that one's going to be pretty much all poker. It's a little odd having poker in this game. I don't dislike it because I like poker, but it does just, I don't know. It's so far from the rest of the gameplay of the series. And to my knowledge, I don't think they bring it back in Dead Rising 3 either. Or, I don't even know if they have it in, like, the spin-offs. Just odd. Or, like, it seems that if they're going to have that as a mini-game, why don't they have it available all the time? I'm sure there's someone out there who just swears by it, or it's like, there's some grandma out there who only plays Dead Rising for the poker, because that's just, like, what they had and what they know. And, but, sadly, I'm not that person. But I do want to get it done because once we have the poker done, we can drop 3 of these books. And once we drop them, it's like we just gained 3 levels. It's like, oh man, I can carry so much food now. Basically after that, it's pretty much a downhill till the end of the game, I think. In terms of difficulty, at least. We're definitely getting towards wrapping up what I would consider kind of the main game-ish area. Like running around, getting scoops and whatnot. It starts progressing more to story missions and such after that, as we head towards the end. Things take some different turns. So we're heading to do this Dead or Alive scoop. It's pretty easy. You just gotta talk down a suicidal survivor, get him to go with you. There is a requirement that's kind of hidden where once you start talking to him, you cannot leave before he's joined your party, that is. Otherwise, he'll just take the shotgun he has and just kill himself. I've never seen the animation for it. I kind of want to, but sadly we can't do it in this run. There's a lot of stuff like that where I kind of want to see what would happen, particularly this scoop or like the similar scoop in Dead Rising 1, but it's just not worth it to play the entire game again to see that one little 10-second sequence. And for all I know, maybe they're like really cheap about it too. He'll kill himself, but only exactly when you're looking away from him, so they don't have to actually animate it. I never use that like spin around move, the Defiler. It's there. I feel like it's too clunky and it's not that good. Like in theory, it's really good, but it doesn't work against psychopaths. And since you do that one swing before and you don't really move around when you're spinning, I feel like it's wasted because you'll kill pretty much every zombie around you with the first swing, and then you'll hit 1 or 2 with the next one. Not really viable in my opinion. I wonder how this dude got a shotgun, but basically you just go through, talk him down. It's really simple. Technically all I need to do is sit here and press A. But yeah. I think it's actually got some cool writing. It's probably one of the more serious scoops in the game. I'll let it roll for a little while. I remember, so he joined, and then I go to check my watch, and I instantly hear that bang. I'm like, oh my god, did he just kill himself? I thought I completely messed up. But luckily, we're okay. I constantly go back and forth. Let me know if you're watching this for like cutscenes, or if you just want the gameplay or commentary. Because I always am torn, like, should I be quiet during cutscenes? Because if you're, like, in one, the main part of the run was also to kind of provide, like, a full point of the story. So I didn't want to talk, like, during a bunch of exposition. But if you're not watching that, then it just sounds like a bunch of downtime. Particularly if you're just, like, listening to this, like, in a podcast style. Well, all the words are subtitles, so it would just be me being quiet for, like, a minute. That's not very entertaining. But like I said, every video I make, I always try to make some improvement. So I love feedback from like you guys, especially like subscribers. I love talking to subscribers just because I can know what they like, what they don't like. It's hard to get a consensus. Like when I sit in like some of my bigger videos, if I'm gonna spend like several hours on, it's really easy to lose perspective after a certain while. Like, is this still funny? Particularly when I was going through like the Dumb Souls video, or I did like a little Stanley Parable Office parody. By the time I was done with it, like editing all those quotes and stuff, it really was like, I don't know if this joke is funny anymore. Because it only ever was like, oh, kind of ha-ha. But after listening to it like 30 times, just to edit, like trim clips, put them in, recheck, it kind of does lose its allure. So this is the Strand Siren scoop. She is essentially stuck in this costume because she's not wearing anything underneath it. So you gotta carry her. You can use a wheelchair, so there is that one redeeming quality. But they have this really awkward step down. Plus, they're pretty convenient where, again, they give you an awesome survivor. It reminds me of when you have to escort Isabel in one, and they give you Kindle, another dude with a shotgun who just destroys zombies right outside a hard scoop. You just saw we got the Dynamite card, which is a stick of dynamite and a piece of meat. Or I guess, more specifically, the hand. I can't remember the actual name for it. But, if I recall, that is actually a very good item. Anytime you can find dynamite, finding a hand's really easy. And basically it attracts zombies, and it gives a lot of PP, if I recall, for some reason. Plus, I think it makes the explosion of the dynamite bigger. So it's one of those things where if you're going to use dynamite anyway, just might as well put it with the hand. Yeah, so we're just going to have to head back. Even now, I'm always checking my map and whatnot. There's another scoop I was afraid I was going to miss. It's a little like comedy duo that came for a competition. And so you have to decide which one's which. Or which one has the better jokes. And they're both like really cheesy puns, so I thought it was entertaining. So this is pretty easy. Luckily those doors close. So you'll notice me probably struggling to do it here, but they close so you can take your time. I believe there's a shortcut out back to get into another casino. But this is cool. I love the unique items in this game, and one of them is like the little trophy you have to give here. Like, I feel like they should have a thing for that. Like, Katie's collection quest kind of is that, but for the most part the toys are dumb. But it'd be cool if they had an actual thing for like collecting just random items that were unique to the game. Because like, there's a couple, but they can be hard to find. So there is a little bit of a strategy you could argue here, where if you award the trophy to Walter, then you have to pay Royce $5,000 for him to join you. Whereas if you give it to Royce, Walter's just going to cry the entire way, but it doesn't really affect anything, so if it's really a problem, you can just mute your TV, I suppose. But really, I could also just pay the $5,000. It's pretty trivial at this point. Especially, like, you can just break the cash register and get some other stuff, and it's pretty much paid for. Or even better, there's an ATM right outside you can break for $5,000, so it's pretty irrelevant. But it is a nice little tidbit. It's more just for the joke than it is for, like, the actual requirement you have to do. I actually think the whole mermaid thing, I think, was actually kind of a clever scoop. Just like kind of simple, well written. Because basically all the scoops are reasons to mess around with mechanics like, oh, this person can't walk, so let's find a reason for that. Or this person can't eat. Or you have to escort this person instead of them following you. It's all just like about changing it up the game. So it's cool when they have like a reasonable or interesting way to explain it. Versus, like, sometimes it's just arbitrary, like, I won't go with you until you do X. But that is just, like, a really annoying thing. So, that being said, it seems like if they are just going to do simple stuff like that, they could also have some, like, crazier stuff, too. Like, they could make some pretty weird escort missions. Like, for example, I'm surprised they never have, like, a point where, for some reason, you have to escort a zombie or something. Something like we have to, like, slowly lure, like, one zombie, keeping like kill the rest but keep this one alive, and you say get him from one end of the plaza to the other for whatever reason. I'm sure they could think up something, like maybe the zombie has like a bomb in it and you have to like get it somewhere where you can detonate it without, but if you kill it, it's like that movie, what is it, with a bus that can't stop. So it's like that, where the zombie stops moving, the bomb blows up for some reason. Who knows why? But it'd be cool if they could do something like that. They could do something like really turn like the mechanics on its head. Could be cool. I've not ever actually thought of like if I was gonna write a scoop. If you tell me if you had to write a scoop or make a psychopath, what would you do? I've heard some really cool ideas. I saw on the Dead Rising subreddit in general, someone had an idea for a psychopath of a crazy model fashion designer that would hide amongst mannequins, and it really like played with like lights and stuff. And like, oh, that's actually kind of a cool idea. That'd be terrifying. Like spawn in, you can't tell like who's the mannequin, who's not. I would love for Dead Rising to have a little bit more horror in it. Really would tickle my fancy, as I say. I love horror games, so that kind of atmosphere really gets me going. It'd be exciting. Like you might have known it, like played it a ton of times. But if it's done properly, you're always wondering, okay, which one is it? Especially at a low level, that'd be a very intense fight. Just like you don't want to mess up. So we're gonna head over here to the ante up after saving. It's pretty important to save just because sometimes the ante can go. This dude can go really wrong. And we have plenty of time, so that's not the issue. The problem is if you get knocked out, the other players retain their cash. So like everyone starts with 25,000. Well, if you lose, say like someone, usually Jack, might start out the game with like 100,000 next time. And that can just screw you even more. So I try to avoid that. And actually, so it's actually strip poker. They don't tell you that until you start playing. Well, my first time filming this, I had never changed back into the tuxedo, I think, or BBs, or I had taken it off or something for some reason. So I was like, when I got low, I got kicked out instantly. That's not a good strategy on my part, I must say. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. I'm gonna cut it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out one of the links below. Till next time, don't take your zombie safety for granted.